Good morning, everyone. I'm Joe Eminger, Supervisor of the Town of Tonawanda, and I want to welcome you to the site of our new Brighton Recreation Enhancement Project, which, as you can see behind us and across the street, is well underway. And today's exciting announcement. But before I do that, I would like to welcome some honored guests who are with us this afternoon. To my right is Councilman and Youth Parks and Recreation Committee Chair Carl Zurich. We have Deputy County Executive and former Councilwoman Lisa Shamara. We have current Councilwoman and member of the Youth Parks and Recreation Committee Gina Santa Maria, and County Legislator from the 4th District and former Deputy Supervisor and Councilman John Barnese. And on my left, no introduction needed, we have Dwayne Paddock, President and CEO of Paddock Chevrolet, joined by his children, Lauren Paddock and Shane Paddock. In order to better understand and appreciate why we all are here today, I think a little history may be warranted. In 1947, the Recreation Department in the town was founded in Franklin Deemer's basement. He was the first director. He had a budget of little over $7,000. In 2023, the budget for the Youth Parks and Recreation Committee is just under $11 million. 65 years ago in 1958, older than myself, the Youth Parks and Recreation Master Plan was approved by the town board. And the town board passed a $2 million bond for the department's expansion to include outdoor pools, wading pools, golf courses, ice arenas, and the recreation department office to be built. The Delaware Pool, the iconic Delaware Pool on Sheridan Drive, was built in 1954. The Civic Wading Pool at Delaware was built in 55. The Lincoln Pool was built in 56. Lincoln and Brighton Arenas, Brighton Arena right here, were built in 1958. Still older than me. The Brighton Pool was built in 1960. The first 9 holes at Brighton Golf Course were put on in 1964. In 1965, the second 9 holes at Brighton were added. In 1968, the Lincoln Playground was built. In 1969, the Irvington Playground was built. The Aquatic and Fitness Center was opened on the site of the old Delaware Pool in 1991. The Brighton batting cages behind us, or in front of us, opened in 93. The same year, the Aquatic and Fitness Center hosted the World University Games water polo event. And the Paddock Chevrolet Golf Dome and NOCO Pavilion opened in 1998. In 2009, the Spray Pad at Sheridan Parkside opened up. In 2013, the Don Kunzelman DFK Pavilion opened up. In August of 2016, our Rails to Trail opened up. And earlier this year, the Tonawanda Town Board approved the Brighton and Lincoln Park Recreation Enhancement Projects with a total cost of $22 million. We'd like to thank federal and state officials for their help in providing aid for this project. Couldn't have been done without them. So with that history having been said, by now you probably figured out whose name is going to be associated with all that you are going to see here and across the street in a very short time. Paddock Chevrolet has long been recognized as a leader in the automobile industry, as well as our community in Western New York for over 5 decades, as well as being a great supporter of civic events in our town and village. For the past 25 years, Paddock Chevrolet has been associated with the Paddock Chevrolet Golf Dome. Well, this morning, Paddock Chevrolet and the town of Tonawanda are expanding on that great partnership, and we are pleased to announce together that we have reached a 20-year agreement on the naming rights for not only the Golf Dome, but also for the new 660-seat ice arena that will open up next March behind us, the $2 million plus splash park, which will open up next summer across the street, along with 4 pickleball courts, a picnic grove, a soccer and rugby pitch, and more. The naming rights agreement with Paddock Chevrolet will be, as I said, for 20 years and will pay the town almost $2.95 million in total. You're not getting out of it, Dwayne. Along with the naming rights to all the previously mentioned facilities, the area where all this is taking place will be rebranded as Paddock Chevrolet Park for the term of the agreement, in recognition of not only Paddock Chevrolet's commitment, but also Dwayne Paddock's family's commitment to the town. This is an historic agreement, and one that will not only benefit the town and its residents, but also, quite frankly, Paddock Chevrolet for many decades to come. It will also ensure that the town will continue to be a great place to live, work, and play. This naming rights agreement will also ensure that the town of Tonawanda will retain the title of being the gold standard of recreational facilities, not only in Western New York, but throughout the state. So at this time, it is my pleasure to call up someone who does need no introduction, Dwayne Paddock, President and CEO of Paddock Chevrolet. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. You know, today is a very special day for the town of Tonawanda, but it's a very special day for our family and for Paddock Chevrolet. As most of you know, that I grew up in the town of Tonawanda, and I played high school baseball at that diamond right across the street there. We had conversations before. I'd come to open skate at 3:30, 4 o'clock back when I was 8, 9, and 10 years old and beyond. It's just a wonderful thing to see how the town of Tonawanda has grown to where we are today. The only disappointing part is we didn't have all this when I was a kid. You know, I look at the schools and everything, I see all that artificial turf, and it's wonderful to see, and the progress that I've seen the town and Western New York make over the years. You know, this is a generational commitment on behalf of Paddock Chevrolet. I wish I could tell you that for the duration that you know, that I'll be at the top of my game, but the reality is, as we get older, the next generation comes into play, and that's with my daughter Lauren Paddock and my son Shane Paddock, both of which are actively involved in the dealership now and truly run the day-to-day operations. We are all very proud of the partnership that we've had with the town of Tonawanda over really the last 60 years, not just from a business standpoint, but from a personal standpoint. I congratulate everybody that was involved in this project. I appreciate their hard work and dedication to making the town of Tonawanda a great place to live and play and work. Obviously, we work in the town of Tonawanda, and I used to play in the town of Tonawanda, and I used to live in the town of Tonawanda. So I'm just extremely proud of what I call home. And I thank each and every one of you for allowing me to be part of it and the generational commitment that Paddock Chevrolet made today. Thank you all very much.
At this time, I would like to call up Chairman of our Youth Parks and Recreation Department, Carl Zarek.
Thank you, Supervisor. And again, thank you, Dwayne, for all you've done for us here in town. Appreciate all of that. And it's just another partnership with Paddock Chevrolet here at the Paddock Park that just shows that whether it's businesses or community involvement by nonprofit groups, everyone jumps in and helps when we ask for help here in Tonawanda. And very proud of the supervisor, all the work he's done to encourage those organizations and businesses throughout the town to help us out when we have a huge project like this. And we're going to be doing a lot more. Appreciate all the work that the businesses have done for us, community organizations, the Chamber of Commerce. This can't just happen alone with government, and it's going to be a great project. Looking forward to it. I want to thank everyone, all the construction fellows that came out today to help us along with this. We're hopefully a little ahead of schedule on this, I would hope, and we're looking forward to that spring opening for this and the park across the street. So thank everyone. Thank everybody in the YPR department for all you do for us, and looking forward to it. Going to have a great summer next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Carl. Before I turn it over and see if anybody has any questions, I do want to recognize a couple people here. Somebody who's camera shy, but a very important person, our former chairman of our Youth Parks and Recreation Committee, the guy who back in 2012 kind of brought this to the town board's attention. We've been working on this, took 11 years, 12 years before it opened to get to this point, and that's former council member Dan Krangle. I also want to acknowledge Assistant Director of Recreation, Jeff Rainey. Thank you, Jeff, for you being here. Unfortunately, our Superintendent of Parks and Recreation, Mark Campanella, is unable to be here. But again, we want to thank Mark for all his hard work and efforts, and we're thinking of him today. So thank you, Mark. So at this time, if anybody has questions for either myself, the town board, or Dwayne, we'll be happy to answer any questions. No? Okay, everyone. Thank you very much for coming out today. Have a good day. Thanks again, Dwayne. You're welcome. Get some photos. Sure. Yeah. This is all going to blow away. That's why I was holding on to it. Whoop.
It's always mine, huh?